In this episode of Highlight Sundays, we cover everything from locks to aliens. Hello and welcome back to Highlight Sundays. It is the 48th week of 2012, and here are your highlights. And now back to our usual topics, we are taking a look at the Nexus 4. As you would probably know by now, the Nexus 4 is the new flagship Google phone manufactured by LG. While most reviews have been pretty nice to the device, this article from GSMArena shows something not so good. Now you may or may not have heard of this, but the back of the Nexus 4 is actually made of glass. It does seem to be a pretty popular design choice nowadays to actually use glass where you don't have to. And the unfortunate thing for the Nexus 4 is that this glass cracks kinda easily. In fact, this GSMArena article shows that the glass can even be cracked by a temperature change. Now the article goes on to say that this is actually a problem that is experienced by other LG devices as well. They then go on to mention that the glass is made by Corning, so they say, well, the blame doesn't fall squarely on the feet of LG. Be that as it may, well, I'm just pointing this out so that you can get an idea if you decide to buy the Nexus 4. I guess this really comes with the trend of people liking to put a lot of glass in their phones, whether they need it or not. So yeah, plastic back is the best, or brushed aluminum. Our next article takes a look at an iPhone 5 case manufactured by a company called Popslate. The coverage for this article is provided by Engadget, and what's particularly special about this case is the fact that it actually has an e-ink screen at the back of the case. Now, of course, the basic way in which this works is that you have an app or various apps on your phone that are able to change what the e-ink screen is actually displaying. I think as of right now, the company has their own app, so you can actually, set pictures or various stuff to actually appear on the screen. However, what they have also is an open API. So what this means, of course, is that programmers can actually make use of this API to write their own apps to basically do whatever they want with the screen. Now, of course, this is an e-ink screen, so there are going to be, certain limitations, which means we won't be watching movies on that screen. But for little things like, notifications, small text, I think it's not much of an issue. What I particularly like about this idea is the fact that, well, the whole dual screen thing is actually really cool. Also, I believe e-ink doesn't take up a lot of power, so if you want it to persistently display something, it will not actually drain your battery. All in all, a very cool concept. This device is already on sale at $79 and is available in black or white. Our last article today has nothing to do with technology at all, or should I say, the usual technology that we discuss. This article comes from Gizmodo and is titled "Super Tough Antarctic Bacteria Provides Hope for Alien Life." So basically, in summary, what this article says is that, well, a bunch of researchers have actually gone somewhere deep underwater, and they have actually found this bacteria that doesn't actually require oxygen to live. Apparently, this lake is completely sealed, and the bacteria has been there for over 2,800 years. And basically what they find is that this bacteria is living in an environment with no oxygen at all. They are thriving just fine on hydrogen and various nitrogen oxides. Now, the main revelation that comes out of this is the fact that oxygen is not mandatory for life. This, of course, opens up the possibility of finding life on planets that do not actually have an oxygenated atmosphere. So, an interesting discovery, and I'd like to see how far they can go with this. And that wraps it up for this episode of Highlight Sundays. A little vlog segment for you, and of course, back to the more comfortable territory where we talk about phones, is that I have received the Android 4.2.1 OTA update. Now, the thing is, I'm not actually going to make a video about this update for the very simple reason that the OTA comes in at a whopping 991 kilobytes. What this means is there isn't a whole lot of code in there. As far as I can tell, everything that was wrong with 4.2 seems to be still here, but of course I believe they actually fixed the December bug, and that may be the only thing they've actually fixed. The battery drain, the Wi-Fi dropping, all of these are still problems that I have confirmed to be present in the 4.2.1 update. So yeah, that is unfortunate. But just to let you guys know that 4.2.1 has landed, not to say it fixed a lot, which is why there will be no video about it. Also, regarding the upcoming Monday video, it's gonna be a little bit shorter, but that's not because I'm slacking off. In fact, I'm starting to get back, my free time on my hands again. My exams are finishing, which is why I intend to embark on a slightly more major project. I won't talk too much about it, but let's just say this is going to be a blast from the past. But that wraps it up for this episode of Highlight Sundays. If you have any comments, queries, or suggestions, or if you have any content to share for the next episode of Highlight Sundays, do feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate every like, favorite, and subscription you give me. But until next time, you are watching 0612 TV.